Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and today we're going to have a very special video for you guys because it is going to be a hand trap guide against the current meta, which I have quite a bit of decks set aside with bullet points as well. But before we get into this video, I'm making a little announcement that this is going to be my 2000th video on my channel, and I cannot believe I've hit already 2,000 videos alone on this channel, let alone hit over 450 subscribers. So I want to thank you all for subscribing and staying with me throughout my whole journey. That I've recently switched to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I feel like it's a better choice because I get to express how creative people can get and how creative I can get. But I'm gonna at least spend a minute on each deck, so let's get right into it. The first deck we have is Dragon Link. This deck is very immune to hand traps sometimes because it usually takes 2 to 3 hand traps to stop Dragon Links totally in their tracks. The hand traps that you kind of do want are Cypher Gamma, Droll and Lockbird, Nibiru, Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and Imperm. Now, Ash Blossom, Veiler, Imperm are kind of low impact, but also can be high impact depending on what value you want to get out of them. Ash Blossom is great because it just stops the search. Veiler and Imperm are usually held for things like their Borreload Savage Dragon, so it's a 1-for-1 that you can get off for a trade. And then Gamma shuts off their full entire board with their Striker Dragon and other cards here. Droll and Lockbird stops them from searching because they do search quite a bit, and Nibiru, a well-timed Nibiru, can definitely stop their plays. So those are some of the hand traps that you can do against Rockets. After that, you have Tri-Brigade, one of the decks that I've been piloting for the past year. You have Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and Impermanence, along with Gamma, Lancia. So these core 5 are actually pretty good. Now, if you're going against the Rescue Cat build, Nibiru is also good, but those players can definitely be smart when they play. Stopping cards like Rescue Cat or the effect to summon from a Tri-Brigade is very crucial for the deck. Lancia hurts the deck a whole lot because it stops them from doing their plays by banishing their monsters from their graveyard to summon out their link monsters. You can even Veiler it or Imperm it because it does the same effect. Gamma also as well, but it really depends on what you have. Now, overall, these hand traps are very vital, as you'll see the same 3 hand traps popping up maybe for being Ash Blossom, Veiler, Imperm, and Gamma against most of these decks. After that, we have Swordsoul. This one has a curveball hand trap because we still have the same Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence, Gamma, and Droll, but you also have the addition of Token Collector. Now, Ash Blossom stops things like a search or a draw. Effect Veiler stops a token from being summoned along with Imperm and Gamma, so if they summon out Moye to get a token, you can just Imperm or Gamma them, and they either have their effect negated and they have to rely on another card, or they can't do anything and they just pass the turn. Droll and Lockbird is pretty much there just to have, in case if they activate Emergency first, so you stop them from drawing a card, getting a search, and so on. But Token Collectors can be crucial because it could shut off their Synchro play because they summon out tokens, which is quite nice of a card. After that, we have Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs also has the staple 4, being Ash, Veiler, Imperm, Gamma, Droll and Lockbird, and Lancia. So you'll have to try and stop Misk as soon as you can, or try stopping them from searching and banishing. That's where Droll and Lockbird comes in, and Lancia. So if you open up either Droll, Lockbird, or Lancia, it's going to be a little harder for them. So if you see them activate Misk, try and activate Cyframe Gamma on it if you have it, because after that, if you stop the one Misk, the deck can just be frail, and if it just gets stops, they really don't have backup plays. That's the one issue with Dinos, is once their one main extender is used up, they had to rely on hoping to have other cards as a backup play. That's where things like Droll and Lockbird helps because they do search here and there, but also Artifact Lancia is there to stop banishing from Double Evolution Pill and your miscellaneous source. So that's one thing to definitely take care of. Now for Floowandereeze, this one's quite obvious because you have your Ash Blossom, your Effect Veiler, Imperm, Gamma, Droll, and Nibiru. You just want them to not be able to have an additional normal summon. So anything that stops the first normal summon effect you're good with. Droll stops them from adding key cards from their deck to the hand, like Empin, Ryza, or Barrier Statue, or maybe a spell or trap card. So that's one thing to definitely look out. And then we have Virtual World. You have the core 4, and then you also have things like Ghost Bell, Skullmeister, Nibiru, and Lancia. So Lancia helps against the deck as they cannot banish, so they cannot pop cards with Chuche because you need to banish cards through your combo. So your Chuche or other cards get lived. And before they can set a card, if they're running Ultimate Zulkin, you can Nibiru them if they are on their 5th summon, or use Imperm Veiler to stop their Clearwing from being summoned. Clearwing, Crystal Wing, whichever one that they summon out. Other things, you have Skullmeister, Ghost Bell. This helps against other cards like your Lao that summons from Graveyard. Ash Blossom is more for the starting effect if they don't open up 2 Virtual Worlds, or if it's against other pieces here and there. Now, we're on to Sky Striker. You have your Ash Blossom, DD Crow, Effect Veiler, Imperm, Ghost Bell, and Skullmeister. So Ash Blossom stops their engage, or anything really that allows them to search. You have DD Crow, so you can pick off cards like Sky Striker Ace, Rose, Ray, or the engage, so they cannot recur those if a extra deck monster leaves the field, or Sky Striker monster is summoned, so you can summon out Rose, or to get back their engage. Veiler and Imperm are very crucial if you're going to Game 3 and time's about to be called, because once they summon that Kaina, they are going to try and gain life points so they win. Also, Bell and Meister are good against things like Ray or Kagari, because you could just stop them grabbing back a Kagari, or stopping them getting back a monster on the field. After that, we have Phantom Knights. This deck is getting scary as it's coming closer to a Brave, and people are starting to pick it up more. And we have things like the Center 4, Ghost Bell, Skullmeister, Nibiru, and Red Reboot. Ash Blossom is very notorious in this format right now. Since Phantom Knights they don't run number F0 anymore because of worries of super polymerization, and Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is now released, you have no worry in Nibiruing, pretty much using Nibiru on them, as they never make Appaloosa first in their combo. Since that, you want to hold Imperm or Veiler for certain key pieces, so if they want to try and do Destroy Phoenix Enforcer on either turn, you can Veiler it on their turn, or hold the Imperm so you can hit the scythe that they are going to pop, because they are playing Artifact Dagda, so you're going to have to watch out for that. And with Red Reboot, their main key function is traps, so if you can stun them out of that, they're going to have a little harder time trying to stop you from playing. Now, things like Ghost Bell and Skullmeister are here because you have things like Fogblade that could special summon from the graveyard. Bell stops from special summoning from graveyard. You also have other things like Skullmeister hitting their Torn Scale when they're trying to summon it back. So you have the options of all of that. Next up, we have Drytron, Alpha, Imperm, Effect Veiler, Meister, Skullmeister, and Bell, Nibiru, and Gamma. So for Drytron, cards to hit with Imperm, Veiler, Gamma are things like their Drytron Muya Beta, Fafnir, Diviner, or the Heralds, because that just stops their opening plays. And against Diviner, they don't get their Ben 10 search because they're going to be sending Herald, or their Fafnir, so they don't get another name in the graveyard. And then cards to hit with Meister or Bell, you can hit any of the Drytron monsters in grave, their Gamma in hand, or Meteonis, so they cannot recur further. Now with Nibiru, you really have to be wary of when you're going to summon it, because most of the time they're going to be on their 5th summon if they're not able to get their Appaloosa out in time, or a Herald or whatever. So Nibiru is just there for that whole portion, just in case that they can't get it. Next we have at Ignister is the final deck. So you have the lovely trio of Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veiler. Then you have Nibiru and Gamma. Ash Blossom is relatively used for Dark Infant at Ignister to stop their starting play, so that's the one thing that Dark Infant actually does for the deck, which is quite nice. But then you also have, for Nibiru, you want a Nibiru Dark Templar so they cannot really have a backup play, because that's their main play. And when we look at things like Dark Templar, it special summons... You can special summon as many level 4 or lower from your graveyard, so that's where you can also opt to run Ghost Bell if you want. But it's better to Nibiru this because it just fizzles out. Or the effect does not resolve fully because you don't have link zones to summon to. So overall, the main 3 hand traps that you want this format are Ash Blossom, Imperm, and Effect Veiler. Then the optional ones that you kind of do want are Gamma, Bell, Meister, and finally Nibiru. Then you have also the off ones being like DD Crow, Token Collector for certain matchups. But I hope you guys enjoyed this hand trap guide, as I will be answering questions if you guys leave them down below on specific decks, because I was going to have more, but there's too many decks to go over, and I want to keep this relatively short and not do like 2-3 part videos, or probably a 50-minute video going through every single deck that has been played this far. But this is just more of a general consensus of what you could play for hand trap lineups, because in my Tri-Brigade list right now, the hand traps I'm running are Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Nibiru, and the final Imperm. But I only run one Nibiru because the crossout designator, but that's just me. And for side deck purposes, I have Lancias and Drolls and Token Collector just in case. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit that like button down below. And leave any questions you have down below for any deck that you want to know the hand traps to run against. And I could make a part 2 of this. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy, and see you guys in the next video.